fresh dose of tech news and insight. This is the Early Burb Briefing.
Breaking news! Microsoft wins the FTC fight to buy Activision. Good morning. This is Eagle Falcon, and this is Eagle Eyes on Tech. I knew I'd find some use for the Early Bird Briefing stuff, right? Well, since the Early Bird Briefing is not around anymore, this is the perfect opportunity to do it. I hear breaking news. Let's quickly cover it. I figure that's the best way to go. This literally, I'm not even kidding. As I'm recording this, this is minutes old. Microsoft they won. There might be a few hurdles I'm not missing. Granted, this is, this is only a few minutes old. Like, I want to stress that. There's still a lot to digest. I will have a lot more to say on Eagle Eyes on Tech regarding the matter. But after a week of opening arguments, deliberation, and the court going between Microsoft and the FTC, Judge Corley has made a statement and has denied the motion for a preliminary injunction, which, as far as I understand, granted, I'm getting this information from The Verge, understandably, but many other sources have corroborated this, ends everything. The actual statement as written is, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard has been described as the largest in tech history. It deserves scrutiny. That scrutiny has paid off. Microsoft has committed in writing, in public, and in court to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years on parity with the Xbox. It has made an agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to the Switch, and has entered several agreements for the first time bring Activision's content to several cloud gaming services. This court's responsibility in this case is narrow. If it is to decide if, notwithstanding these current circumstances, the merger should be halted, perhaps even terminated, pending resolution of the FTC administrative action. For the reason explained, the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it will prevail in its claim this particular vertical merger in this specific industry may substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to the consumer access to Call of Duty and other Activision content. The motion for a preliminary injunction is therefore denied. This means that FTC, that was the whole statement, by the way. This means that, in fact, the move by the FTC to block the purchase it's null and void. It's not going to happen now. And there's still going to be a court case. They still have to go through the rest of the case, but it seems extremely unlikely that the FTC is going to be able to prove in any way, shape, or form that there is a concern for any sort of monopolistic behavior. And that's kind of what we've been talking about on the podcast for a while, especially when you look at the whole thing, Sony, who has been very much against the whole thing, has come out again and again and again and again with absolutely BS responses as to why this shouldn't go through. So it's good to see this happen. It's good to see that this deal is going to go through. And I've been very clear as to why I have been in favor of this. It is because while I could care less about Call of Duty, which is pretty much single-handedly carrying all of Activision on its back, I care more about the Blizzard properties. I care more about all of that surviving. That's what I truly care about. And, well, with Microsoft saying that after the merge has fully been integrated and they plan on getting rid of pretty much all of the head staff at Activision. I'm sorry. They needed to go. They needed to go long ago. And quite frankly, for the survival of beloved franchises that aren't Call of Duty, not to say that I like Call of Duty. Call of Duty can go off and perish for all I care. Bobby's got to go. Bobby's got to go something fierce. In fact, actually, a lot of the administration has got to go. So, to see this all happen is great news, a breath of fresh air, and possibly some hope that some of these IPs that are beloved and have a future in someone else's hands may in fact get into someone else's hands. Of course, what was promised early on in the deal could inevitably just not happen, and we could end up with a lot more of the same. Here's hoping, because quite frankly, even though this is kind of a weird sort of situation where you're rooting for Microsoft, who isn't exactly the best tech company in the world. I mean, look at Windows right now, and you're rooting for them to take over Activision after they've kind of been hit and miss with how they handled Bethesda. It's a weird situation, but anything is better than what Activision is doing right now. And you need only look as far as Diablo Immortal to see what the future is. I mean, look at World of Warcraft. You've had bad expansion, kind of okay expansion. They need a change. That's going to do it for me. Again, thank you for listening to Eagle Eyes on Tech. And make sure to check more. YouTube.com/EagleFalcon and Twitch.tv/EagleFalcon. Take care. Bye-bye.